Welcome to Still Kicking, the show that highlights senior centers around the state of Kentucky and investigates the lives and achievements of the seniors they serve. We're in Jessamne County, home of the Jessamne County Senior Citizen Center. Come on in for a personal tour and to meet the seniors. Welcome back to Still Kicking. We're here with Barbara Price, avid gardener, cotton picker, stay-at-home mom. You've done it all.
I've done it just about all.
So where are you from originally? You're not originally from Kentucky, right?
From Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. So how long have you been in Kentucky?
I've been here ever since 1953.
Oh, wow. So you've been here for a long time. How old was you when you moved here?
Well, I was 20, I think I was 20 years old when I came.
So what year was you born in?
1933.
Any great-grandkids?
Well, yeah. And then I think I've got one great or something like that grandchild I never have really seen.
Yeah. Are they in Oklahoma? Are they in Kentucky?
I think they're in Oklahoma here. No, they're out here in Kentucky.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be some things that you would want your children and your grandchildren to remember about you, some key things that they would cherish about you?
Well, I hope they think I'm a good mother for one thing, and what I've done for them. And
so as you grow older, you learn a lot of life lessons, oftentimes the hard way. What are some of the things that you've learned in your life that you would like to pass on to other people? What is some advice that you would give other people that maybe help them along the way?
Well, I've talked to some people and told them what they should do and what they shouldn't do, but sometimes I don't think people listen to me, so I just go ahead and...
Well, I think it's better to put it out there than to hold it back and feel guilty when they make a mistake. At least you give them information that maybe will guide them in a different way. But you know as well as I do, people typically have to go the hard way before they'll make a decision to do it the easier way.
We wouldn't be worrying about things where they shouldn't be,
Yeah.
So
what would you say is the happiest moment in your life?
Well, I'm not sure about that. But I'm just happy. Try to be happy all the time. But, so I'm just glad we're living and I'm happy.
Yeah. So you said you're from Oklahoma. Probably one of your early job or maybe your first job was picking cotton. Your family was cotton farmers, right?
I worked in cotton fields.
Was that part of y'all's family? Or
Well, all of us did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a hard job.
So what's the process? How do you go about picking cotton?
Well, you have a long sack, 9 foot long. Most of them are.
So you just drag it behind you?
Drag it behind you. You put cotton in there and you shake it till it gets where you fill it up.
Yeah.
All the way up. And it's heavy too. Well, the way when I had to do it by myself, I was helping some people one time, and I had to fill my stacks up, take them to scales and weigh them.
Yeah.
Take them, put them on the wagon and empty them. Then back in the fields,
Yeah.
fill them up again.
So is there thorns and things on the cotton?
Oh yeah.
So do you
Some
use, like-
people wear gloves, but I never could wear them.
So you just did it barehanded?
I didn't barehand. I mean, it was hard, but I did it.
So you probably got stuck a few times.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't. And then when it's cold weather, I was about the same way. I couldn't. Well, I had to nearly put gloves on because it's cold weather and everything.
So you picked it in the cold weather too?
Oh yeah, cold weather.
So it'll grow
When
all year?
snow is on the ground.
Huh.
Yeah. And it grows on stalks.
Yeah.
Yes, that's. You can pull it off the stalks, or you can pick it out of the burrs. Well, and it takes longer to pick it out of the burrs than it does to pull it.
Yeah.
Then they take it to some kind of a place, and they weigh it and all that, and do whatever they want to do with it. I don't know.
Probably pretty similar to the way tobacco was in Kentucky. I imagine it'd be about the same thing. We had tobacco warehouses. You probably had cotton warehouses. Yeah, so people would take it in and sell it there. Buyers would come in. Definitely very interesting. You're the first person I've actually ever met that's worked in cotton. So it's very rewarding to me to get to talk to somebody that's done something amazing like that we don't have here in Kentucky. So this day and age, it's very hard for women to have the opportunity to stay at home. Pretty much everybody has to work these days. But you had the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom. So what was that like? What was the most rewarding thing for you about getting to stay home with your kids?
Well, I enjoy staying home with my kids and try to learn things, do things. Because when they're going to grow up, they're going to want to
Yeah.
what things we're at, what we're doing. So
I hear that in your lifetime you've been an avid gardener and you've raised all kinds of types of gardens.
Well, I love being out in the garden and everything, and we used to raise stuff, garden stuff, but we used to raise tomatoes, big patches of tomatoes.
Yeah.
And I used to love pulling tomatoes,
Yeah.
and going out there to take some stuff and eat too.
Oh, sure. So most of your gardens were, do you ever do flower gardens or any other type of gardens? Or
Well,
flower
no,
gardens?
it's not flower garden, it's vegetable.
So that's what you enjoyed, was working with the vegetables. So what's the biggest garden you've ever worked in?
Well, I don't know. It's been so long. I don't hardly remember. But my mother and them, they used to grow great big gardens, and they used to take it and can it and put it, in jars and everything, and have something to eat that winter.
Yeah.
So
So you seem very family oriented. What does family mean to you?
well, a family to me means a whole lot. I mean, when you got all your family together and you can do things, all together and go places and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you guys do a lot of traveling and things like that?
Trips, yeah, and things like that.
Yeah.
That's what we used to do.
Thank you again, Barbara, for coming in. It has been truly a pleasure to get to meet you. We'll be right back with Shirley Preston, who worked most of her life as a CNA, has traveled the world extensively, but most importantly, is a wonderful singer. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Still Kicking. We're here with Shirley Preston, world traveler, worked over 30 years as a CNA, but most importantly is a wonderful singer. Welcome, Shirley. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Good to meet you.
So where are you from, Shirley?
In Keene, Kentucky.
I don't think I've ever been.
I've been, but it's been a while.
What year was you born, Shirley?
1938,
1938. All right.
July the 4th.
So when you were growing up, what did you want to be, or what did you aspire to be?
I wanted to be a nurse,
Want to be a nurse.
but I never, didn't finish school, so I couldn't be,
Yeah.
But I worked as a nurse assistant. That's almost the same thing there. You give You give the baths and make the beds and get the patients up and walk them and all that stuff. You just don't give medicine.
In a lot of respects, I imagine a CNA is a harder job than nursing because you get to things that they don't particularly want to do.
Sometimes you get 18 or 20 patients, and you know.
Definitely hard to manage in an 8-hour shift.
Sometimes we had to work 12 hours though.
Oh yeah, sure. So you wanted to be a nurse growing up. Did you go back and get your GED or anything like that?
No.
Okay, so just went into nursing.
No, I went to work, and when I worked at the Peerless Laundry when I was down on the Broadway, when I was about 15.
Yeah.
Then I went from there. Went to the Central Baptist Hospital.
Had you started working at that point? Okay.
Yes,
So how old was you when you started working?
I was about 16.
That's probably pretty common back when you were coming up. A lot of people in the 40s and 50s, you know, you had to go to work, so they.
You got to what job you could get, you know.
So when people got a job, they stuck with it and they did their job and they retired.
You did the best you could with what you had.
So you left school, started working, then decided to go to church one day, and then just boom, you found your husband, right?
It's a little country church on Leestown Road.
Mm-hmm.
I'd been to I run Calvary for a while, but then I went out there and I met him out there, and we'd been dating for a long time, and then we started dating. We married. We started dating in February. I think we married in November.
So how old was you when you got married?
Let's see. I was about 45.
About 45. So you were older when you got married. So
He was in his 50s. He'd never been married.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's good to wait, especially if you get the right one.
That's right, it is.
Yeah, so-
Now he's been gone 8 years.
So how long was you married before you lost him?
We was married 30 years.
And so he was a preacher at the church where you guys met. Did he ever move to another church or just continue on with that church?
That was the one that he was there until he died. He got to preach one morning, couldn't think what he was going to preach. And I thought he might be in Alzheimer's, but he had brain cancer. And then he died about 6 months later.
Oh, wow, so it was a quick one. So going back to your childhood, it's always interesting what people remember. What's the earliest thing that you remember from your childhood?
I remember when I was about 5 that we went to the circus, and you know.
So that'd probably be a pretty memorable event to get to go to the circus.
And we had a good time, you know. The cotton candy and all that good stuff.
I guess for a first memory, that's a pretty good one, right?
We thought we was rich, you know. We didn't know no better.
Yeah, that's a big event. It's a big event today. You know, imagine back in the 30s and 40s, that would have been a huge event for a kid to get to go see.
Yeah.
Definitely. So you worked for 30 years as a CNA. Tell us a little bit about your experience as a CNA.
Well, I worked in intensive care, cardiac care, and on the floors. And where the broken bones, what is it?
Intensive care.
Intensive care and cardiac care, and we've been all over.
And you worked for Central Baptist for how long?
12 years.
Okay, and St. Joe. And you were there the remainder of the years. Okay.
Yes.
Of your years.
20 years, yeah. And I retired.
So was that the same population from each hospital that you worked with, or were they different?
Well, just about the same.
About the same.
All these hospitals about the same.
Yeah, kind of put you in where you're needed.
Yeah, yeah.
That kind of thing. What would you say is the most rewarding thing about working as a CNA?
It's feeling like you help people.
Yeah.
You know, you go in and they try to make them comfortable, and you got them up and you walked them and you fed them if they need feeding, and you know that you feel like that's where God. I felt like where God wanted me to be.
Yeah. So definitely by showing up to work, you made a huge difference in people's lives.
I hope so.
When you're at your lowest point and sick, having somebody come in and take care of you and take care of you well means the world.
Yeah. Somebody that's not going to be griping and fussing because they have to take care of you, see.
Well, yeah, sure. Somebody comes in and does their job and does it the way they're supposed to.
Yeah.
And
I try to treat people like I like to be treated to me.
Yeah.
And God says do that.
That's not hard to do, is it?
No, no, it's not.
More people should take lessons from you on that.
I don't know.
So I hear you're a wonderful singer and you love to sing. So what kind of music do you like to sing? Is it gospel or some kind of other music?
Gospel.
So did you sing a lot in church growing up?
Yeah, well, it's in the choir, several choirs.
Several choirs?
Yeah.
Was you up front?
Huh?
Was you up?
No, different. We went different churches.
Different
When
churches.
we growed up, yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys travel around and sing in different churches, like as a group? Or
No,
anything?
just different. But I went to Calvary Baptist for a while, and then I went to West End Baptist. That's where they didn't have a choir there, so we
Went there and kind of started one up.
West End Baptist. We had a choir for a while. Later on, after my husband died, we had a bunch of them that sang.
Okay.
So
What's your favorite song?
Consider the Lilies.
Consider the Lilies. Could you sing a little bit for us?
Consider the lilies, they don't toil nor spin, and there's not a king with more splendor than them. Consider the sparrows, they don't plant nor sow, but they're fed by the Master who watches them grow. We have a heavenly Father above, with eyes full of mercy and a heart filled with love. He really cares when your head is bowed low. Consider the lilies, and then you will know.
Wow, that is awesome. You have a wonderful vibrato, a wonderful singing voice.
Thank you.
So you sing a lot here at the center?
And we sing her so often.
You sing solo for them a lot?
Yes.
Yeah. So do you have other good singers here that join in?
We got some, yeah.
Now I understand that you've traveled some. Where's some places that you've been?
Me and my husband went to Niagara Falls, and we was there went a couple of times, and we'd get us a little motel up on the. He wanted too much for the one down to the falls, so we got one up to the road a little bit, and we went there, you know.
Did you go down under the falls with the boat and all that stuff?
No, we stood on that thing and watched them.
Yeah.
You stand on that thing and watch them. There's a fence, and you feel if you don't watch them too close, you feel like you're going with it.
Oh yeah, you don't want to do that.
So we went there. We went there a couple of times, and then went to Mexico. But I didn't. He wouldn't. That's where we was married. We went to old Mexico, and we took a cruise about 5 or 6 years ago. Me and a friend of mine did, and we went on a Caribbean cruise.
So what was the best part of the Caribbean cruise for you?
Just the sights.
Just the sights? So I guess the boat stops a different place. Was there one particular place you liked over others?
We went to Key Largo. What is that?
Key Largo?
Yeah, we went there, and we went through got on one little thing and rode around and showed us all these fancy houses and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
It was fun. They make him pies too. Those, what do you call them?
Is it key lime?
Yeah, key lime pies there too. It was nice.
Did you buy pie?
No, we didn't get no pie.
You should have got a pie. Well, thank you for coming in. Let me ask you a few questions so we can get to know you. I guess next time I see you, you're going to be the lead singer of a band or a choir somewhere.
I don't know about that now.
Again, thank you. It's been a pleasure to meet you, to hear you sing. It takes me back to my childhood and my mom singing. So thank you again for that and for sharing your gift with us.
I've always liked to sing.
We'll be right back. Well, that wraps up our show for Jessamne County. We hope you've had a good time, learned a few things, and had a few laughs along the way. Join us next time as we venture into Bourbon County to learn about their senior center and to meet their seniors. Until then, I'm Jason Smallwood, and this has been Still Kicking.
Consider the lilies, they don't toil nor spin, and there's not a king with more splendor than them. Consider the sparrows, they don't plant nor sow, but they're fed by the Master who watches them grow. We have a heavenly Father above, with eyes full of mercy and a heart filled with love. He really cares when your head is bowed low. Consider the lilies, and then you will know, and then you will know. Consider the lilies, they don't toil nor spin, and there's not a king with more splendor than them. Consider the sparrows, they don't plant nor sow, but they're fed by the Master who watches them grow. We have a heavenly Father above, with eyes full of mercy and a heart filled with love. He really cares when your head is bowed low, and there's not a king with more splendor than them. Consider the sparrows, they don't plant nor sow, but they're fed by the Master who watches them grow. We have a heavenly Father above, with eyes full of mercy and a heart filled with love. He really cares when your head is bowed low. Consider the lilies, consider the lilies, consider the lilies, and then